Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Time for another Woebringer rant. Haven't done one of these in a while. There's been plenty to rant about, but today we're going to talk about one of our personal favorites, pharmaceuticals and insurance. Just had this happen. It's fresh on my mind. So I've been taking a few supplements here lately. I'm not as young as I used to be. And with getting back in the gym, you need a little extra help to get across the finish line, so to speak. So one of the byproducts of going and getting testosterone therapy, as well as hitting the gym a lot more, is that unfortunately I have a higher than normal estrogen count. And this is the body's normal response to flooding it with extra testosterone. So I have to go get a script. No big deal. It should be super easy and it should be dirt cheap. So my provider calls this in on Friday, and I get around to going and picking it up today. And I had already done my homework, and this is really important. You know, I get to the pharmacy, and they're like, well, this little guy here will be $2. And I'm like, well, that's very interesting, because I had already kind of looked up and seen what we would pay with some of these coupon providers, such as GoodRx, and it was going to be around $11 or $12. So I asked the question, is that, a cash price or the insurance price? And, oh, that's insurance. Well, what are you billing the insurance company? And we're billing $25. So the way our insurance works is we're on a flex spending account, or an HSA. Basically, we won't get too much into it, but there's a monthly premium amount that gets paid, and it's typically much lower than a carte blanche type insurance. And then you have an account that you make contributions into that are tax free. Comes pre-tax, before any other withdrawals. It's a first fruits kind of thing. And then the money in that account grows, albeit incredibly slowly, but it grows interest free so long as that account is only used to pay for medical expenses. All right. Well, that's really, really cool, because we're not getting taxed on any contributions that go in there. My wife's company happens to pay for a large part of the monthly premium. So our out of pocket on a monthly basis is incredibly low. Happy meal for us, right? Well, the downside, I wouldn't say the downside, but the side that's going to rub some people the wrong way with this type of plan is that you have a high deductible. Depending on how we structure during any given year and what we might have coming up, we might have a $3,000 or $5,000 deductible, meaning that the first few $1,000s we spend on any given calendar year comes out of that tax-deferred savings plan or tax-free savings plan. Well, I mean, we're good with that. We don't get sick a lot, and even when Uncle COVID came and knocked on our door, it was not that big of a deal, okay? So back to where we were at. Pharmacist is like, well, the insurance is paying $25 of that, and your copay is $2. I'm like, no, I'll be paying $27. That's not acceptable. I'd like the GoodRx price. She's like, really? It's only $2. I said, yeah, I'm on an HSA. It's going to be $27. So here's where it gets really interesting. Let's, if you've never used GoodRx before, you should. And there's other sites that are like it. GoodRx is just kind of my go-to. So on GoodRx, you go to their URL, goodrx.com, and here you go, and you just kind of type in the name of the drug. And I mean, this is no big deal. I'm taking anastrozole, which, what does anastrozole do? Well, anastrozole, it's used in women as a breast cancer treatment, but it's used in men to fight off a higher than normal estrogen level, because we are very likely taking testosterone supplements. I take a couple. I have an OTC testosterone supplement that I take, and then I also have a prescription testosterone injection once a week to get my levels back up to where they were when I was young and spry and in my 20s, so that when I go to the gym, I'm not ice skating uphill, okay? Well, the byproduct of flooding the body with all this extra testosterone is it sort of flips out and starts producing extra estrogen. Estradiol estrogen, okay? So we don't want that. That's very counterproductive to what it is we're trying to accomplish, right? I'm in there trying to put on lean muscle mass, get my weight back down to fighting shape, et cetera, flooding my body with a bunch of estrogen is no bueno. So we grab these little turds and you just take them once a week, and they'll get that estrogen level back down to where you want it. And the goal is through supplementation, get that testosterone back up to where we're like a 20-something young dude, okay? But then countering the body's response of trying to keep everything in balance. Our bodies are really good about that. That's why if you want to lose, some excess weight really, really quickly, drink a bunch of water. If you put a gallon or a gallon and a half of water in every day, your body's going to freak out and start chucking excess water. Which is, it sounds weird, drink lots of water to lose weight, you're putting more stuff in, but it's going to make a lot of stuff come out. So we go out here to get RX, and we sort by lowest price, and lo and behold, Albertsons and Tom Thumb, which in the great state of Texas are the same company now, are right down the street, and they're $11. That's the cash price, okay? That means I can take, here, we'll cover the numbers and stuff up, but I can take this little, what they call it a benefits card, okay? It's a credit card that is attached to that HSA or to that flex spending account. So I can take my little card, attach that account, which we've already paid for. It's our money that's sitting in that account, albeit first fruits with no tax. And I'm going to say, no, I'm going to pay $11 for that. Well, I mean, this just screwed up the whole universe. The lady got mad. She had to re-ring it up. I apologize. I'm like, I told my provider this was going to be a cash transaction. I don't know why they rammed it through with insurance or why you have my insurance on file. I've gotten one script here in the last 3 years, but hey, whatever. This is what I need. And if it's a problem, no problem. I can cancel the script and move on. So just be aware of this shit and learn about it, okay? It was going to be $27 for something that you can get for 11, 12, 13. And then as you move up the trail, Walmart wants 25, Target's wants 26, Walgreens wants 105. Pro tip, don't go to freaking Walgreens unless you have to. But, okay, so like 11, 12, 13 bucks out of pocket versus billing the insurance company 25 and me too. Well, let's say I didn't have the HSA. Let's say I was on some sort of other insurance. This should really expose how stupid this shit is. If some evil corporation is going to pay for this shit, they're down with taking $27. And it's fine. It's free market. You should take as much as you want, right? But if some evil corporation called insurance is going to pay $27, shit, they're going to take it. Well, what do you think happens when Big Brother, who loves you and never actually do anything to hurt you, comes in and starts paying for it? Well, they're going to. Where do you think the $500 hammers and the $800 toilet seats at the Pentagon come from? Somebody else is paying for it, so they're like, "Shit, yeah, go ahead and pay me." Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. So Uncle Woe has done his homework. Hey, no, I'll pay $11 out of pocket instead of 25 on insurance, which is really me until we spend about $4,000, and then me paying 2. So we've gone from 27 down to 11. Well, when you do good RX, and here, let me just click on it. When you do good RX, you get basically serial numbers or item numbers or SKU numbers or however you want to think of it for a particular script, right? Member ID, bin number, this combination of information tells that pharmacist that, yes, this is a legitimate coupon. Yes, someone is going to have some sort of reimbursement through the back channels or however it goes. It's coupon, okay? That way they know I haven't just gone on the interwebs and printed up a voucher and say, yeah, I'm paying $2.33. All right? So my deal, go back, is $11, right? $11.08. Well, I said, no, I'd rather do the good RX. And she doesn't even ask me for any information. She just comes back, that'll be $7.58. So, it was really, really funny that they already had the information good to go, or their little system said, blip, 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 good RX, here's the price you charge. But B, this stuff can be sold for $7 and they're still able to keep the lights on and make a profit and pay their employees so their employees can put food on the table and go home and make fat little nice round babies, and the cycle of life may continue. But she didn't even have to freaking ask, and it was $4 cheaper than what I was willing to pay anyway. So I guess where I'll go with this is, one, ask questions and get your IQ up, even if it might ruffle somebody's feathers a little bit and they might have to work a little extra bit at their job or whatever. I'm not being a dick by asking questions, right? Is that the insurance price? Who's paying for this? No, I would like to pay for it this way before I just hand you money like a drunken politician spending somebody else's shit. I would like to know what's going on. Here's how I'm going to pay for this transaction. So there's part one. Part two is none of this shit is free, kids. Just because it's, the Affordable Care Act, or it's the National Health Service, or whatever your big oligarchy government cluster-coitus is that is ostensibly paying for it, you're paying for it, all right? That's coming through taxation. That's coming through people's shit getting taken. I understand, they're just going to tax the rich. Well, who the fuck do you think employs some folks, okay? Anyway, ask questions and realize none of this stuff is actually going to be free, all right? So by getting my IQ up today and doing a little bit of effort, I went from 25 down to 11 down to 750 because they already knew they could charge 750 and still make a profit. Anyway, that's it for me today, y'all. I hope it was somewhat informative. Leave any feedback in the comments and tell me how wrong I am and how Big Brother paying for everything should be awesome, even though Big Brother's paying with our money. Anyway, that's the rant. Y'all have a good day. Catch you next time.